welcome back to section 8.4, page 2, our very final page for the semester. So in number 12 here it says use your calculator, value of pi, to find the approximate area of a circle with radius length 12.38. So our formula here is A equals pi r squared, the area of a circle. We're being told to use our calculator there to find it, so I'm just going to put pi here. And then in for radius, they've given it to us, is 12.38 inches and squared. Okay, so we're going to have here pi and then 12.38 squared and then inches squared. So now we're going to go ahead and use our calculator. So I'm going to say here, use calculator. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put in a pi, so we just hit pi, and then we can say times 12.38, and we want that squared, so hit our square key, and then equals. And what do we get? We get 481 point, all of those numbers. So let's see, we're going to get 481.4943 on forever. They don't tell us how to round, but let's go ahead and round to, I don't know, 2 decimal places. Also, don't forget the inches squared. Okay, so we would get A equals 481 point. Because this is a 4, we do not bump it up. We just cut it, chop it there, and inches squared. So that's our final answer there. Okay, next problem says find the exact length, so leave pi in the answer, of a radius. So notice they want us to find the radius and the exact circumference of a circle whose area is. Okay, so we are told that this is the area and they first want us to find radius. So we're going to start off by writing that area equals pi r squared. We're talking about a circle. Okay, so that's our formula. So let's go ahead now and put in what we know. We know that we have 36 pi. Okay, now we're not going to put in the meters squared right now. That's just going to tell us what the units are when we're done. So this is the 36 pi. We put that in for area equals pi r squared. Now we're trying to find radius. Okay, that's what it's asking us to find. Radius and circumference, 2 things. Okay, so to find the radius, we're going to divide by pi here. And then we're going to get 36 equals r squared. Well, we know how to solve that. We'll go ahead and take the square root of both sides, putting in the plus and minus. And we get plus and minus 6, but we know that if it's a radius, which is what the square root of r squared is, it's got to be positive. So r equals 6. Well, that's the first answer, but we need to put the units in. So what are the units? Meters here. 6 meters equals r. Okay, that's the first answer. Okay? Second thing they want us to find is the circumference. So what is the circumference's formula? Well, we had 2 choices, pi d or 2 pi r. So I'm going to use, since we have r, I'm going to use 2 pi r. So we're going to put a pi. Remember, we're supposed to leave pi in the answer. R is 6 meters. So what do we get? 2 times 6 is 12 pi, and then the meters. I don't know, somehow it looks kind of funny. I feel like I should be writing here 6 meters. Okay, so meters. Okay, and we've got our radius and we got our circumference. On to part B now. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Same thing, they've given us the area. So we're going to say area equals pi r squared. And we're going to go ahead and put 6.25 pi equals pi r squared. Divide by the pi, and we get the 6.25 equals r squared. Then we'll go ahead and take the square root of both sides, putting in that plus and minus. So we have 6.25 here, r squared here. So what do we get? Well, we get r. Let's try our calculator here. If you take and do second above the x squared, you can see that little square root sign. That's the one we want. 6.25. Close our parentheses. What do we get? 2.5. So we're going to put in 2.5 there. And that's r. So we're going to say that the radius equals 2.5. What are our units? Feet. Okay? And then to find the circumference, we're going to say the formula there is 2 pi r. So we plug in 2 pi. For radius, we have 2.5 feet. So we multiply the 2 times the 2.5. Then we have pi feet. And what do we get there? 2 times 2.5 would just be 5 pi feet. And again, remember, circumference should be in not square units. Okay, that's it for that problem. Let's go ahead and go on to number 28. So find the length of the diameter of a circle whose circumference is 157 inches. Use your calculator value of pi. Round your answer to the nearest integer. So they want us to find the diameter when the circumference is 157. So this is what we know. Circumference equals 157. So let's go ahead and put down the formula for circumference. We want to find diameter. So circumference is 2, no 2, just pi d, since we're asked to find diameter. Pi d. Okay, so now we know that the circumference is 157 inches. So I'll just put 157 in there, equals pi d. So now what are we supposed to be doing? Solving for diameter. So all I need to do here is divide both sides by pi. And we found that 157 divided by pi equals d. We're supposed to use our calculator. So here we're going to use calculator. All right, so how do we do that? We say d is equal to, let's try it. Okay, so 157 divided by what? Divided by pi. There's pi, put it in, and that's our answer. So we get 49.9746 on forever. They ask us here to round to the nearest integers. Remember, integers are not decimals or fractions, they're whole numbers. And so we're going to chop it right there. We want a whole number. All right, so it's a 9. That means bump it up. Well, we're at 49. What's the number 1 bigger than 49? 50. And what are our units? Inches. So put inches on it. So diameter is 50 inches. Okay, that does it for number 28. We're on to our very last problem. Find the exact area, leave pi in the answer, of the shaded region. Well, when we look at the shaded region, we notice that it's a circle, but it's missing this rectangle inside. So let's go ahead and do this problem. We would say the shaded area is equal to, if we take the area of the circle and subtract from it the area of the rectangle, we'll have the shaded area. Okay, so what's the area of a circle? Well, we know that to be pi r squared. And what's the area of a rectangle? Base times height. So now we have to go ahead and figure out what all these pieces are. Well, right now, pi r squared, we do not have the radius. So let's go ahead and think about what the radius would be. Well, the radius would be from this point here, the center, to a point on the circle. So we could choose to draw it this way. We could choose to draw it this way. Or how about, let's make it the easiest way possible. What if we choose to draw it to this point here? Because that is half of the diameter, and I think that's going to be the easiest way to get it. So, in fact, if we go all the way through here, that might be our simplest way to get it. Okay? Because now, do you notice that we have a right triangle here? Okay? This is the hypotenuse. We can find that using the Pythagorean theorem. So, use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We do not know the hypotenuse across from the right angle. We'll put these two pieces in for the a and b. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. And you probably already know the answer. We've done this so many times. We get 100 equals c squared. So what is c going to be? C is going to equal, we take the square root of both sides with the plus and minus. We reject negative since it's length, and we get an answer of 10. So this whole thing is equal to 10. That's what we just found. But we want the radius. So what are we going to do? We're going to use just half of it, which is 5. Okay, so we're putting in pi, and then a 5 and squaring it, minus. What's the base here? The base is 8. We can see that. And the height is 6. So 8 times 6. Okay, and I forgot my feet should be in there. Well, I can put that in at the end. Okay, so pi times 5 squared is 25 minus 48. Okay, so let's switch this around. 25 pi minus 48. Okay, so since they want pi in the answer, we're not going to figure out what this is. That's all we're going to be able to do. But we do want to say that it's feet. And should it be feet or feet squared? Well, it's area. Let's write this down. Shaded area. Okay, so it's feet squared. So that's our final answer here. And that's the very end. I hope it was a good semester for you, and I hope you've been able to stay healthy and not too bored. Hope to see you around campus next fall. Bye-bye.